Important. I need to see the original script to help you rewrite it for a 5th grade student. However, I notice you provided a story script that's already written in fairly simple English. If you'd like me to simplify this further for 5th graders while keeping the exact same length, format, and sequence, I can do that. Here's the rewritten version. The narrow alley was completely dark. Footsteps got louder and came closer. A young woman was pushed against the wall by 2 men. Her eyes were full of fear. Then came the scream that broke through the night. "Daddy, please help her." From the shadows, a man in regular work clothes came out. He was carrying only a wooden stick. In just seconds, both bad guys were on the ground. The shaking girl looked up at him while his daughter hugged him tight. "You saved her, Daddy." He had no idea that tomorrow, this moment would bring the most powerful CEO in the city right to his front door. Meet Michael Ward. He's 36 years old. He's a construction worker who looks normal on the outside, but his strong body tells a different story. Every morning at 6 a.m., Michael's alarm rings. Not for himself, but for his 8-year-old daughter, Emily. She's the light of his world. Bright eyes, messy brown hair, and a smile that could melt steel. "Daddy, look what I drew." Emily runs to him holding up a colorful picture of a man with a cape. "It's you, my superhero daddy." Michael laughs, getting down to her level. "I'm just a regular dad. Sweetheart." "No way. Regular dads can't fix everything like you do." If only she knew the truth. 3 years ago, Michael's world fell apart. Sarah, his wife, died in a car crash. One phone call changed everything. He was working far away, part of a special military security team. The day he got that call, he made a choice that bothers him every night. He came home. He quit the military. He gave up everything he trained for to raise Emily alone. In his pocket, he always carries a broken pen. Sarah gave it to him the day before their wedding. "For luck," she'd said. The ink ran out years ago, but Michael can't let it go. It's all he has left of her. Now his days are simple. Work the night shift at construction sites, come home at sunrise, make Emily breakfast, walk her to school, sleep for a few hours, pick her up, help with homework, repeat. Tonight was different, though. Michael finished his work early. The boss sent everyone home because of the weather. Rain poured down hard, soaking the empty streets. "Daddy, can we get ice cream on the way home?" Emily skipped beside him, somehow still cheerful even with the storm. "It's raining, how about hot chocolate instead?" "Deal, but only if you tell me another story about the brave knights." Michael smiled. Emily loved his made-up stories about knights who protected people. She never knew these stories came from his real memories. Different uniform, same mission. They took a shortcut through the old part of town, narrow alleys, dim streetlights. The kind of place most people stayed away from after dark. But Michael knew these streets. He'd memorized every corner, every exit, every hiding spot. Old habits die hard. That's when they heard it. A woman's voice, quiet but desperate. "Please, just let me go." Michael stopped. Emily grabbed his arm. "Daddy, someone's in trouble." Through the rain and shadows, Michael saw them. 2 men had trapped a young woman against a brick wall. She couldn't be more than 25. Designer clothes, expensive purse, but terror in her eyes. "This doesn't concern you, lady," one of the men yelled. "Just give us what we want and nobody gets hurt." Michael's jaw got tight. His hand automatically went to his pocket, feeling the broken pen. Sarah's voice played in his memory. "Promise me you'll always protect innocent people." Emily pulled at his jacket. "Daddy, we have to help her." Michael looked down at his daughter, 8 years old, and she already understood what was right. What choice did he have? Stay behind me. No matter what happens, stay behind me. The 2 men were bigger than Michael. Younger, too. They probably thought this would be easy money from some rich girl who took a wrong turn. They had no idea what was coming. Emily's voice cut through the rain. "Daddy, please help her." Michael stepped forward with no hesitation. The first man turned around, annoyed. "Hey, old man, mind your own business." "Let her go," Michael said quietly. His voice was calm, but there was strength underneath. Both men laughed. The second one, tall with a gold chain, stepped closer. "What's this?" "Some construction worker thinks he's a hero." "Just a worker." The first man made fun of him. "Stay out of this, janitor." The woman looked at Michael with desperate hope. Tears ran down her face. "Please," she whispered. Michael felt something change inside him. It was like muscle memory. 3 years of construction work disappeared, and suddenly he was back in that other life. The life where protecting people was everything. I'm going to count to 3, Michael said. Let her go and walk away. Gold Chain laughed harder. Or what? You'll call the cops? There's no signal down here. 1. The first man pulled something from his jacket. A knife. You deaf or stupid? 2. Emily squeezed Michael's hand. She wasn't scared anymore. She trusted him completely. 3. What happened next lasted maybe 10 seconds, but it felt like slow motion. Michael moved. The broken pen in his pocket might not have ink anymore, but it was still solid metal. As Gold Chain jumped forward, Michael's hand shot out. The pen hit a pressure point in the man's neck. Gold Chain dropped like a stone. The first man with the knife was faster, more experienced. He slashed at Michael's chest. But Michael had fought men with knives before. He grabbed a piece of wood from a nearby construction pile, dodged the blade, and brought the wood down hard across the man's wrist. The knife clattered to the ground. One more strike to the stomach area, and the second attacker was on his knees, trying to breathe. Both men were down. The alley was quiet except for rain hitting the ground. The woman stared at Michael in shock. Are you hurt? Michael asked. I'm fine. Thank you so much. She was shaking, relief washing over her. But the moment was broken by footsteps. People were coming, drawn by the noise. Someone had a phone out, recording. Holy crap. Some janitor just took down 2 guys. Did you get that on video? More phones appeared. The video was already uploading to social media before Michael could react. Daddy, you did it. You saved her. Emily hugged his leg tight. But Michael wasn't feeling proud. He felt exposed. This was exactly what he'd been trying to avoid for 3 years. One of the watchers, a young guy with expensive sneakers, started talking for his video. So apparently, this construction worker thinks he's some kind of action hero. Guy probably watches too many movies. Bro, did you see those takedowns, oh? That was actually smooth, his friend replied. Still, though, who does that? Just some random dude playing superhero. Another voice said, single dad janitor playing superhero. This is going to be everywhere by tomorrow. The woman tried to defend Michael. He saved my life. Those men were going to hurt me. Yeah, we get it. Gold Chain interrupted, getting back on his feet. Hero of the day, whatever. He pointed directly at Michael, eyes full of anger. This isn't over, construction boy. We know this neighborhood. We'll find you. The second attacker struggled to his feet, holding his injured wrist. You got lucky tonight. Michael felt every instinct screaming at him to stop the threat for good. These men would be back. But Emily was watching. People were recording. Instead, he picked up Emily and started walking away fast. Wait, the woman called after him. I don't even know your name. Please, let me thank you. Michael didn't turn around. Getting involved had already been a huge mistake. Behind him, he could hear the woman crying, not from fear anymore, but from gratitude. She kept repeating, he saved me. He saved me. The crowd was growing. More videos, more commentary. Someone had called the police, but Michael was long gone. By the time Michael and Emily reached their apartment building, the first video already had 50,000 views. By midnight, it was trending. The headlines started appearing. Construction worker thinks he's Batman. Single dad janitor's cringe hero moment. When watching too many action movies goes wrong. Blue-collar Batman, hero or attention seeker? The comments were brutal. Hundreds of people making cruel jokes about blue-collar heroes and minimum-wage vigilantes. Bet he practiced those moves in his bathroom mirror. Imagine being so desperate for attention. Poor kid has to watch her dad embarrass himself. Someone's been binge-watching too much Netflix. But there were other comments that made Michael's blood run cold. Anyone know who this guy is? I want to find him. He lives in the Riverside district. I recognize that alley. I've seen him around construction sites downtown. Michael sat on his worn couch, watching his carefully built invisible life get destroyed in real time. Emily was asleep in the next room, completely unaware that her father's face was being shared by millions. His phone kept buzzing with calls from unknown numbers. Reporters, probably, maybe worse. He turned it off and threw it in a drawer. What Michael didn't know was that across town, in a mansion high up in the hills, someone else was watching those same viral videos on repeat. Someone who recognized much more than just his face. Someone who knew exactly who Michael Ward really was. And at exactly 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, she would be standing at his front door. The next morning came too soon. Michael had barely slept. Every car that passed outside made him jump. The viral videos had over 2 million views now. His face was everywhere. Emily was getting ready for school, humming while brushing her teeth. She had no idea her father's life was falling apart. "Daddy, why do you look so tired?" she asked, climbing onto his lap. "Just couldn't sleep, sweetheart. Bad dreams. Want me to chase them away? I'm really good at scaring monsters." Michael hugged her tight. "You already do, That's when they heard it. Expensive car doors closing outside their apartment building. Michael looked out the window and froze. A black SUV with tinted windows. A driver in a suit. And stepping out, a woman who looked like she belonged on Business Weekly's cover. Isabella Lane, 30 years old, CEO of Lane Industries, one of the biggest companies in the state. Her dark hair pulled back perfectly. Designer suit that cost more than Michael made in 3 months. But her eyes were red from crying. "Daddy, who's that pretty lady?" Emily pressed her face against the window. 3 sharp knocks on the door. Professional, urgent. Michael opened it slowly. Emily hiding behind his leg. Isabella Lane stood there, and up close, Michael could see she'd been crying all night. "Mr. Ward," she said, voice shaking. "My name is Isabella Lane. We need to talk. I think you have the wrong person." "No, I don't. You saved my sister last night." Michael's world stopped. "Sister? That woman in the alley. She's your—" "My baby sister, Sophie. She's 23, fresh out of college." Isabella's voice broke. She was walking back from dinner when those men, she couldn't finish. Emily tugged at Michael's shirt. "Daddy, is this about the lady you saved?" Isabella looked down at Emily and smiled through tears. "You must be Emily. Your daddy is a hero." "I know. I told him he's a superhero, but he says he's just regular." Isabella's laugh was hollow. "Regular? Mr. Ward, nothing about you is regular." "Ma'am, I appreciate you coming, but—" "You didn't just save her life," Isabella interrupted. "You saved my family. Sophie is all I have left. Our parents died when she was 12. I've been taking care of her ever since." She broke down completely. This powerful CEO was sobbing on his doorstep. "Last night, I almost lost her forever." Emily grabbed Isabella's hand. "It's okay, pretty lady. My daddy makes everything better." She broke down completely. "He sounds amazing." "He is. Do you want some juice?" "Daddy always says sharing makes people feel better." Emily ran to get juice from the kitchen. Isabella wiped her eyes. "She's beautiful. How old is she?" 8. Michael was still processing. "Your sister, is she okay?" "Physically, yes, thanks to you. Emotionally," Isabella shook her head. "She keeps saying, 'He saved me, Bella. He saved me.'" "Uh-huh." Emily returned with apple juice, handing it to Isabella like a peace offering. "Thank you, sweetheart." Isabella took a sip. "This is delicious." That's when she noticed it. Michael was playing with something in his pocket. "What's that?" she asked. Michael hesitated, then pulled out the broken pen. "Old, worn, clearly important." Isabella gasped. "Where did you get that?" "My wife gave it to me before she died." Isabella stepped closer, staring at the pen like she'd seen a ghost. "May I?" Michael handed it over reluctantly. Isabella looked at it carefully, hands shaking. "This pen, it has an engraving, a small symbol." She showed him a tiny eagle with spread wings, so small he'd never noticed it. "My father," Isabella whispered. "He gave these pens to every member of his personal security team, the special unit that protected our family 15 years ago." Michael's blood ran cold. "You were one of them, weren't you?" Isabella's voice was barely a whisper. "You were part of the Lane security detail." The room was spinning. Memories flooded back. A younger Isabella, 15, always reading while her father did business. Little Sophie, 8 years old, always getting into trouble. He protected them both for 2 years. He'd been their shadow, their guardian, until he met Sarah, until he fell in love, and left to start a normal life. All this time, Isabella breathed, "You were here, living like a normal person." "Because that's what I am now," Michael finished. "Just a dad." Isabella looked around the tiny apartment. Worn furniture, children's drawings on the refrigerator. The simple life he'd built. "But you're not just a dad," she said softly. "You're the man who used to take bullets for my family. You taught me how to throw a punch when I was 16. You carried Sophie to the hospital when she broke her arm." Emily looked confused. "Daddy, you knew the pretty lady when she was little?" Michael knelt to Emily's level. "A long time ago, sweetheart, before you were born." Isabella was trembling. "My father always wondered what happened to his best man. Michael Ward, the soldier who could have stayed for life but chose love instead. She paused, looking directly at him. He always said you were the only one he trusted completely. The only one who never wanted anything except to keep us safe. Michael stood slowly. That was another life, Mrs. Lane. I'm different now. Are you? Isabella challenged. Because last night, when my sister was in danger, you did exactly what you used to do. You protected the innocent. You put yourself at risk for a stranger. She stepped closer. Some things never change, Michael. Heroes don't stop being heroes just because they change uniforms. Emily clapped her hands. See, Daddy, I told you you're a superhero. Michael looked at his daughter, then at Isabella, then at the broken pen in his hand. Everything was about to change. Within hours, everything flipped. The same social media platforms that had mocked Michael were now telling a completely different story. Isabella Lane held a press conference at noon. Standing behind a podium in her company's headquarters, she faced a room full of reporters and cameras. Yesterday, the internet mocked a man they called a janitor hero, she began, her voice steady and strong. Today, I'm here to tell you who he really is. The room was silent. Michael Ward is a former special security specialist who once protected my family. He's a decorated veteran who gave up a well-respected career to raise his daughter alone after his wife's tragic death. She paused, letting that sink in. The woman he saved in that alley? She's my sister, my only remaining family. And if it wasn't for Michael Ward's courage, I would have lost her forever. The questions came fast and furious. Mrs. Lane, are you saying he worked for your family? Is it true he's a trained professional? What can you tell us about his military background? Isabella held up her hand for silence. Michael Ward is the kind of man this world needs more of. While others walked by, he stepped up. While others recorded videos for likes, he risked everything to save a stranger. She looked directly into the camera. Our family owes him a debt we can never repay. The internet exploded. The same videos that had been used to mock Michael were now being shared as examples of heroism. The headlines changed. CEO reveals hero's true identity. Former military elite saves CEO's sister. The guardian who never stopped protecting. Silent hero. Single dad. Secret past. The comment sections transformed overnight. This man is a legend. Respect this real-life superhero. Sorry for judging him. True hero right there. We don't deserve people like this. This is what real men look like. But the most meaningful moment came that afternoon when Isabella visited Michael's apartment again, this time with Sophie. Sophie Lane was petite, with the same dark hair as her sister but younger, more fragile looking. She'd been crying, but when she saw Michael, something shifted in her expression. It's you, she whispered. It's really you. She walked up to Michael slowly, like she couldn't quite believe he was real. I kept thinking I imagined it, that maybe you were an angel or something. Emily bounded into the room, carrying a piece of paper. Look what I drew. She held up a colorful picture, a man with a cape standing in front of a woman, protecting her from shadowy figures. It's you, Daddy, saving the pretty lady. Sophie started crying again, but these were different tears, happy tears. Isabella put her arm around her sister. Sophie, this is Emily. She's Michael's daughter. Sophie knelt down at Emily's level. Hi, Emily. Your daddy is the bravest person I've ever met. I know. He's my superhero. Do you want to see more of my drawings? I have one of him fighting dragons. As Emily led Sophie away to show her artwork, Isabella turned to Michael. The whole city is talking about you now. In a good way. Michael shook his head. I never wanted any of this attention. I know, but sometimes heroes don't get to choose when the spotlight finds them. She looked toward Emily and Sophie, who were now giggling over crayons and paper. You gave me my sister back. You gave Emily a father who shows her what real courage looks like. And you gave the city something it desperately needed. What's that? Isabella smiled. Hope. Proof that good people still exist. That heroes walk among us, even when we don't recognize them. Outside, Michael could hear people talking as they passed by his building. For the first time in years, they were saying his name with respect instead of pity. The community had spoken. The truth was out. Michael Ward wasn't just a construction worker anymore. He was a guardian, a protector, a hero. And deep down, he realized he always had been. That evening, Isabella found herself sitting on Michael's small balcony. Emily and Sophie were inside, making friendship bracelets and giggling like old friends. You don't have to live in the shadows anymore, Isabella said quietly. Our family owes you everything. Michael was leaning against the railing, watching his daughter through the window. She was teaching Sophie how to braid colored strings, her face bright with joy. All I ever wanted was to give her a normal life, he said, a safe life. And you have. Look at her, Michael. She's confident, kind, brave. She has everything she needs because she has you. Isabella paused. But maybe normal doesn't have to mean invisible. Michael turned to look at her. What do you mean? I mean, maybe it's time to stop running from who you are. You're not just Emily's father. You're also someone who makes the world safer just by being in it. She pulled out a business card and handed it to him. Lane Industries has been looking for a new head of security. Someone we can trust completely. Someone who understands that protecting people isn't just a job. It's a calling. Michael looked at the card. I can't. Emily needs me to be a father. I know. The job comes with flexible hours, full benefits, and a salary that will let you move Emily to a better neighborhood, better schools, a house with a backyard. Through the window, they could hear Emily's voice. Sophie, do you want to meet my daddy's friend, Mr. Jenkins? He lives downstairs. That sounds wonderful, Emily. Your daddy has a lot of friends, doesn't he? Not really. He's usually too busy taking care of me. But that's okay because I'm his best friend. Isabella smiled. She adores you. She's everything to me. The day her mother died, I made a promise. I would be enough. I would be her whole world if I had to be. You kept that promise. But, Michael, you don't have to be her whole world anymore. Look in there. She's already making new friends. She wants to share you with the world. Michael was quiet for a long moment. The broken pen, he said finally. I kept it because it reminded me of Sarah, but also because it reminded me of who I used to be. He pulled it out of his pocket one more time. In the fading light, the small eagle engraving caught the last rays of sun. Maybe it's not broken, Isabella said softly. Maybe it just needed the right moment to matter again. Michael looked at his daughter through the window. Emily was holding up her finished bracelet to show Sophie, both girls beaming with pride. Once, I carried a rifle to protect people, Michael said. Then I carried lunch boxes and scraped knees and bedtime stories. He smiled, and for the first time in years, it reached his eyes. Now I know the truth. It was never about what I was carrying. It was about who I was protecting. Inside, Emily called out, Daddy, come see what we made. Michael pocketed the pen and opened the door. Coming, sweetheart. Isabella watched him go, then whispered to herself, Welcome back, guardian. The broken pen had found its purpose again, and so had the man who carried it. Subscribe if you believe true heroes live quietly among us.